Hello and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be starting a new hardcore world in Minecraft. Subscribe now and you can say you are here on this journey from day one. Without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so here you'll see the world I generated just for testing purposes, and here's my survival world. But we're doing a new hardcore world, so I'm going to switch that to hardcore and then show you the settings are all default. We're not going to be enabling the villager trade rebalance. I don't see any reason to make this harder than it needs to be, and I think we all know it just overcomplicates the concept of a trading hall, which is something I'd really like to build relatively early on. And let's generate. In order to give you the best content I can deliver, I recorded all narration after the gameplay. I tried to live record during the gameplay and found it too distracting. So right off the bat, we loaded into a decent area, finding sugarcane, a beautiful savanna biome, and plenty of animals for food. After getting some logs, I went straight into making my first pickaxe and found a deep, dangerous cave that I was nowhere near ready to explore. So I decided to go for some stone tools in a rather unusual way, but it was well worth it to be done with the wooden tools. And with that out of the way, it was time to get some food. There was plenty of chickens in the area, so naturally, they became the food source for now. At this point, I was really thinking about setting up a permanent base here. I began slowly lighting up the area to spawn-proof it, as well as improve visibility for nighttime, as I will not be sleeping in this world ever. This will allow me to use the most amount of time possible to build up my world before the big 1,000 day mark. And just like that, the first night had begun. I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty nervous. No armor, no strong weapons, and the enemies were already spawning everywhere I looked. I kept going with the spawn-proofing through the night, although it was putting me dangerously close to some creepers. Working through the night, I'd finally done a good enough job lighting up the area that enemies were no longer spawning close enough to be a problem. So I decided to take down my first mob and attack the creeper. But no thanks, Mr. Skeleton, we aren't ready for that yet. After deciding he wasn't worth potentially losing this world before I'd even been able to see its full potential, I decided it was time to begin planting some wheat to attract those cows from earlier to an enclosure. And then I got to work making the enclosure that we would need later on. And now we begin night 2, but I decided to take a different approach. I began a mine shaft with the intent of making it to Y level 15, so I could find a decent amount of iron. But very shortly into it, I ran into this massive cave system and decided it would be smarter to make a turn and go in the opposite direction. As rich as this cave might be in minerals, it just wasn't worth the risk with the creepers and skeletons down there. And then I found the other side of the large cave system. Again, not worth the risk, and I'm not equipped to do any big time caving yet, so I left. I then came to the realization that this was not the place I wanted to set up a home base. The savanna biome is great, but the resources are severely lacking here. Realistically, we just have wood, stone, and a little sugarcane. And to top it all off, a cave I didn't think was worth exploring yet. So I began taking down all my stuff in preparation to leave the area. Once I was done, I made a boat and said goodbye to the spawn island. Thus began a very long journey through the ocean. But shortly into it, I came across a random mountain in the middle of the ocean. I saw iron from the coast and knew immediately I had to stop here. Finally, I had the iron I had been needing to craft a shield in a bucket. Now unfortunately, the footage of the last in-game day was lost. I don't know why or how, but as you can see by the day counter, I think I've only lost one in-game day. So here's what was missed. I found an iron vein large enough to make me a chest plate, which was a great way to start this area. I saw this hole in the wall over here and decided this is perfect. So I made a decent looking bridge and made my way up. Oh, and here's a small plot of wheat. And here it is. And don't mind that. It's just a place to safely kill Enderman if I see any. I gotta get those pearls, right? Anyways, that's all I got for you today. Next video, we'll be taking a look at the mountain in the back because I think there's going to be more iron and we're going to get started on a mine shaft. Hope you all have a great day.